We are live.
আমরা একটু ওয়েট করব ভিউয়ার্স গ্যাদার করার জন্য, তারপরে কি আমরা শুরু করব নাকি should we start right away? Though we are live actually. একটু ভিউয়ার্স গ্যাদার করি আমরা নাকি? It's only 6 people who are watching.
Sir, we can start now.
Okay. Bande Sujana Sufala Malaya Jashidala Shasha Shamala Bande Mataram Chokha Yotna Pulakitayami Pulakusumita Drumadala Shobhini Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini Sukhadan Varadan Mataram Bande Mataram Bande Mataram.
Jai Hind, friends. Today, Desh has planned for an unique evening. The head of Provisional Government of Azad Hind Fauj once asked his friend Sri Dilip Kumar Roy to flood the nation with melody. And so, today our concluding session on the month of our 75th year of independence will be on the music that influenced the war of liberation in various stages. Surely, the first song comes in our mind that gave the iconic phrase of Vande Mataram to the freedom movement is the immortal creation by Sri Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, with which we started our today's evening. As per the history, Rabindranath Tagore gave the present tune to the song, which was sung in one of the sessions of Indian National Congress.
After the 1857 mutiny, the British government tried to suppress every initiative to revolt against the colonial rule. But that could not stop the development of secret societies and various revolutionary activities throughout the nation. Very first such initiative was taken by the Chapatar brothers in Maharashtra, though it was a result of personal planning and execution. In the first decade of 20th century, Aurobindo Ghosh came to Calcutta and first secret society was formed successfully as Anushilon Samiti. As Calcutta was the capital of British India, the young students from various parts of Bengal and as well as India used to come to Calcutta for study and job. So, gradually with the interaction between the young and educated boys, various revolutionary groups and activities started to bloom.
The reactionary regime of Lord Curzon is a great landmark in the history of the freedom movement. His attempts to establish control over the universities and municipalities created great discontent and provoked keen protest all over India. But the crowning act of his folly was the partition of Bengal in the teeth of an angry, unanimous opposition, the like never seen before during the British rule. Rabindranath Tagore, the then poet of Bengal, came forward as an active member to protest the decision of partition. We found many patriotic songs penned down by him during this time, describing the nation as a mother and India as the source of heritage and culture to the world. Let us now listen to such a song written by Tagore.
ওই ভুবন মন মোহিনী, ওই ভুবন মন মোহিনী, মা ভুবন মন মোহিনী, ওই নির্মল সূর্য করো জলধরণী, জনক জননী জননী, ওই ভুবন মন মোহিনী, নীল সিন্ধু জলধৌত চরণ তল, অনীল বিকম্পিত শ্যামল অঞ্চল, অম্বর চুম্বিত ভালো হিমাচল, শুভ্র তুষার কিরীটিনী, ওই ভুবন মন মোহিনী, ওই ভুবন মন মোহিনী। প্রথম প্রভাত উদয় তব গগনে, প্রথম শাম রব তব তপবনে, প্রথম প্রচারিত তব বন ভবনে, জ্ঞান ধর্ম কত কাব্য কাহিনী, চির কল্যাণময়ী তুমি ধন্য, দেশ বিদেশে বিতরিছ অন্ন, জাহ্নবী যমুনা বিগলিত করুণা, পুণ্য পীযুষ স্তন্যবাহিনী, ভুবন মন মোহিনী,
as soon as the scheme of partition in its final form was announced, the Bengali-owned newspapers, both English and Bengali, made a tearing and raging campaign against it. Rabindranath, along with Bipin Chandra Pal, Ramendra Sundar Trivedi, and others, arranged Rakhi Bandhan Utsav to spread the unity and harmony among all religions. Rabindranath wrote a song to unite the citizens of Bengal for one cause. In 1908, the revolutionaries of Anushilan Samiti, Sri Khudiram Ghosh and Sri Prafulla Chaki, tried to assassinate Magistrate Kingsford in Muzaffarabad in Bihar. Even after several arrests and trial, British government could not handle the protest against the decision of partition, and then finally they had to withdraw the order of partition in 1911. But they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi.
বাংলার মাটি বাংলার জল বাংলার বায়ু বাংলার ফল পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান বাংলার মাটি বাংলার জল বাংলার বায়ু বাংলার ফল পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান বাংলার ঘর বাংলার হাট বাংলার গুণ বাংলার মাঠ বাংলার ঘর বাংলার হাট বাংলার গুণ বাংলার মাঠ পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান বাংলার মাটি বাংলার জল বাংলার বায়ু বাংলার ফল পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান বাঙালির পণ বাঙালির আশা বাঙালির কাজ বাঙালির ভাষা বাঙালির পণ বাঙালির আশা বাঙালির কাজ বাঙালির ভাষা সত্য হোক সত্য হোক সত্য হোক হে ভগবান বাংলার মাটি বাংলার জল বাংলার বায়ু বাংলার ফল পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান বাঙালির প্রাণ বাঙালির মন বাঙালির ঘরে যত ভাই বোন বাঙালির প্রাণ বাঙালির মন বাঙালির ঘরে যত ভাই বোন এক হোক এক হোক এক হোক হে ভগবান বাংলার মাটি বাংলার জল বাংলার বায়ু বাংলার ফল পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক পূর্ণ হোক হে ভগবান।
But even in this scenario of nationalism, sometimes the internal conflict among the leaders disturbed Tagore mentally, and in one of his songs, he appealed to the motherland to not expect anything from her children.
এরা চাহে না তোমার, চাহে না যে আপন মায়ের নাহি জানে। এরা তোমায় কিছু দেবে না, দেবে না, মিথ্যা কহে শুধু বদনে ভানে। আছো গো মা মুখ পানে, আছো গো মা। তুমি তো দিতেছ মা যা আছে তোমারি, স্বর্ণ শস্য কমজান বিমারি। তুমি তো দিতেছ মা যা আছে তোমারি, স্বর্ণ শস্য কমজান বিমারি। জ্ঞান ধর্ম কত পূর্ণ কাহিনী, এরা কি দেবে তোরে কিছু না, কিছু না, মিথ্যা কবে শুধু পরাণে। কেন চেয়ে আছো গো মা মুখ পানে, কেন চেয়ে আছো গো মা। বেদনা রাখো মা মনে, নয়ন বারিণী বারো নয়নে। বেদনা রাখো মা মনে, নয়ন বারিণী বারো নয়নে। মুখ লুকাও ভুলি শয়নে, ভুলে থাকো যত হিন্দু সন্তানে। শূন্য পানিছে প্রহার গনি গনি, দেখো কাটে দীর্ঘ রজনী। শূন্য পানিছে প্রহার গনি গনি, দেখো কাটে কিনা দীর্ঘ রজনী। শূন্য পানিছে প্রহার গনি গনি, দেখো কাটে কিনা দীর্ঘ রজনী। দুঃখ জানায় কি হবে জননী, নির্মম চেতনাহীন পাষাণে। আছো গো মা মুখ পানে, কেন আছো গো মা। এরা চাহে না তোমার, চাহে না যে আপন মায়ের নাহি জানে। এরা তোমায় কিছু দেবে না, দেবে না, মিথ্যা কহে শুধু বদনে ভানে। কেন চেয়ে আছো গো মা মুখ পানে, কেন চেয়ে আছো গো মা। একটু ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি, একটা শব্দ আনইন্টেনশনালি আমার প্রথমে শেষের দিকে স্কিপ হয়ে গিয়েছিল। রবীন্দ্রনাথের গানে কথা ভুল করা আমার কাছে একটি অপরাধ, আমি সকলের কাছে একটু ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি।
Not only Tagore, but Bengal poets like Atul Prasad Sen, Dijendralal Roy, Rajanikanta Sen used their pen to bloom the budding emotion of nationalism in full swing. And their songs not only inspired the general population, but also the young revolutionaries and school students. Atul Prasad Sen called the nation to awake and fight for her right.
উঠো গো ভারত লক্ষ্মী, উঠো আদি জগত জনপূজা। দুঃখ দৈন্য সবনাশী, করো দূরিত ভারত লজ্জা। ছাড়ো গো ছাড়ো শোক সজ্জা, করো সজ্জা। কোন কনক কমল ধন ধান্যে, জননী গোলহ তুলে বক্ষে, শান্তন বাস দেহ তুলে চক্ষে। কাঁদিছে তব চরণ তলে, বিংশতি কোটি নর নারী গো। জননী গোলহ তুলে বক্ষে, শান্তন বাস দেহ তুলে চক্ষে। কাঁদিছে তব চরণ তলে, বিংশতি কোটি নর নারী গো। কান্দারি নাহিক কমলা, দুঃখ লাঞ্ছিত ভারত বর্ষে। শঙ্কিত মোরা সব যাত্রী, কালো সাগর কম্পন দর্শে। তোমারও অভয় পদ স্পর্শে, নব হর্ষে। কোন চলিবে তরণী শুভ লক্ষ্যে, জননী গোলহ তুলে বক্ষে, শান্তন বাস দেহ তুলে চক্ষে। কাঁদিছে তব চরণ তলে, বিংশতি কোটি নর নারী গো। ভারত শ্মশান কর পূর্ণ, কোন কোকিল পূজিত কুঞ্জে। দেশ হিংসা করে চূর্ণ, কর পূরিত প্রেম অলি গুঞ্জে। দূরিত কর পাপ পুঞ্জে, তপ তুঞ্জে। কোন বিমল কর ভারত পুণ্যে, জননী গোলহ তুলে বক্ষে, শান্তন বাস দেহ তুলে চক্ষে। কাঁদিছে তব চরণ তলে, বিংশতি কোটি নর নারী গো। উঠো গো ভারত লক্ষ্মী, উঠো আজি জগত জনপূজা।
We started our discussion with a reference of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose as a music lover. His passion for music started from very young age, and Hemonto Sarkar, one of his closest associates since the school days, described the scene where young Subhash Chandra sang a patriotic song by Rajanikanta Sen on a boat in Ganges when they were coming back from Murshidabad after visiting the palace of Nawab Sirajuddaulah at the battleground of Palashi.
তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা। তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা। ঊর্ধ্বে চাহ অগণিত মণিরঞ্জিত নভনীলাঞ্চল, সৌম মধুর দেবাঙ্গনা শান্ত কুশল দরসা। শ্যাম ধরণী তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা। দূরে হ্যারো চন্দ্র কিরণ উদ্ভাসিত গঙ্গা, নৃত্য পুলক গীতি মুখর কলুষ হর তরঙ্গা। ধায়ে মত্ত হরষে সাগর পদ পরশে, ফুলে ফুলে করি পরিবেশন মঙ্গলময় বরষা। শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা। ধীরে দিশে দিশে মলয় মন্দ কুসুম গন্ধ বহিয়া, আর জগরিমা কীর্তি কাহিনী মুগ্ধ জগতে কহিয়া। হাসিছে দিগ বালিকা কণ্ঠে বিজয় মালিকা, নবজীবন পুষ্প বৃষ্টি করেছে পুণ্য ভরসা। শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা। ওই হ্যারো স্নিগ্ধ সবিতা উদিছে পূর্ব গগনে, কান্ত জল কিরণ ভিতরে ডাকিছে শক্তি মগনে। নিদ্রালস নয়নে এখনো রবে কি শয়নে, জাগাও বিশ্ব পুলকে পরশে বক্ষে তরুণ ভরসা। শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা তব চরণ নিম্নে উৎসবময়ী শ্যাম ধরণী সরসা।
British government not only tried to suppress the increasing national movement, but also tried to stop the sources of inspirations and banned few patriotic songs which influenced the mass in a large scale. As a secretary of the Student Union of Presidency College, Calcutta, Subhash Chandra planned to sing such a song by Vijendralal Roy in the annual program in front of the European teachers.
বঙ্গ আমার জননী আমার ধাত্রী আমার আমার দেশ, কেন গো মা তোর শুষ্ক নয়ন, কেন গো মা তোর রুক্ষ কেশ, কেন গো মা তোর ধুলায় আসন, কেন গো মা তোর মলিন বেশ। সপ্ত কোটি সন্তান যার ডাকে উঠে আমার দেশ, কিসের দুঃখ কিসের দৈন্য, কিসের লজ্জা কিসের ক্লেশ, সপ্ত কোটি মিলিত কণ্ঠে ডাকে যখন আমার দেশ। উদিল যেখানে বুদ্ধ আত্মা মুক্ত করিতে মোক্ষদ্বার, আজিও জুড়িয়া অর্ধ জগৎ ভক্তি প্রণত চরণে যার। অশোক যাহার কীর্তি ছাইল গন্ধার হতে জলধি শেষ, তুই কি না কিসের ক্লেশ সপ্ত কোটি মিলিত কণ্ঠে ডাকে যখন আমার দেশ যদিও মাতর দিব্য আলোকে ঘিরে আছে আজ আধার ঘোর কেটে যাবে মেঘ নবীন গরিমা ভাতিবে আবার ললাটে তোর আমরা ঘুচাবো কাতর কালিমা মানুষ আমরা নহিত মেষ দেবী আমার সাধনা আমার স্বর্গ আমার আমার দেশ কিসের দুঃখ কিসের দৈন্য কিসের লজ্জা কিসের ক্লেশ সপ্ত কোটি মিলিত কণ্ঠে ডাকে যখন আমার দেশ বঙ্গ আমার জননী আমার ধাত্রী আমার আমার দেশ আমার দেশ আমিও ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিলাম আমারও শেষের দিকটা আমিও একটু ভুল করে ফেলেছি তার জন্য
In the later days, the songs by Kazi Nazrul Islam also became inspirational for the revolutionaries. Nazrul, who was described as Bidrohi Kobi by the revolutionary poet, described the situation of the nation in his various songs that has asked the youth to come forward to demolish the barrier of slavery.
Meshumosha, you are muted.
Am I audible?
Yes.
কারারে লৌহ কপাট কারারে লৌহ কপাট ভেঙে ফেল করলে লোপাট রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি ওরে তরুণ নিশান বাজা তোর প্রলয় বিষান ধ্বংস নিশান উরূপ প্রাচীর প্রাচীর ভেদি কারারে লৌহ কপাট কারারে লৌহ কপাট ভেঙে ফেল করলে লোপাট রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি নাচে ওই কাল বসে কি কাটাবি কাল বসে কি নাচে ওই কাল বসে কি কাটাবি কাল বসে কি দেরে দেখি ভীমকারার ওই ভিত্তি নাড়ি দেরে দেখি ভীমকারার ওই ভিত্তি নাড়ি লতিবার ভাঙরে তলা যত সব বন্দিশালায় লতিবার ভাঙরে তলায় যত সব বন্দিশালায় আগুন জ্বালা ফেলো পাড়ি কারারে লৌহ কপাট কারারে লৌহ কপাট ভেঙে ফেল করলে লোপাট রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি রক্ত জমাট শিকল পূজার পাষাণ বেদি
As we said that the revolutionary activities started from Maharashtra, finally centered Bengal and attained the peak in the time of partition of Bengal in 1905. With time, the activities started to scatter all over the nation and particularly in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, the present Uttar Pradesh. In 1928, when Bengal volunteers took the charge of activities in Bengal zone, the Hindustan Socialist Republic Army formed in Punjab under the leadership of Chandrasekhar Azad. Young leaders like Bhagat Singh, Bhagavati Charan Bhora, Sukhdev Thapar, Rajguru took the charge of the activities on the ground. Ram Prasad Bismil was himself among the leading faces of this group, made a poem popularized among the mass.
This song is based on that poem from a movie.
Sanghamita,
रंग दे मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला रंग दे, रंग दे, रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे। निकले हैं वीर जियाने यूं अपना सीना ताने, हंस हंस के जान लुटाने, आजाद सवेरा मर के कैसे जीते हैं इस दुनिया को बतलाने, तेरे लाल चले हैं माए तेरी लाज बचाने, मर के कैसे जीते हैं इस दुनिया को बतलाने, तेरे लाल चले हैं माए तेरी लाज बचाने, आजादी का शोला बनके खून रगों में डोला, मेरा रंग दे मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला रंग दे, रंग दे, रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे। दिन आज तो बड़ा सुहाना, मौसम भी बड़ा सुनहरा, हम सर पे बांध के आए बलिदानों का ये सहरा, बेताब हमारे दिल में एक मस्ती सी छाई है, ऐ देश अलविदा तुझको कहने की घड़ी आई है, महकेगी तेरी फिजा में हम बन के हवा का झोंका, किस्मत वालों को मिलता ऐसे मरने का मौका, हम महकेगी तेरी फिजा में हम बन के हवा का झोंका, किस्मत वालों को मिलता ऐसे मरने का मौका, निकली है बारात सजा के इंकलाब का डोला, मेरा रंग दे मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला रंग दे, रंग दे, रंग दे बसंती चोला माए रंग दे।
During the second Lahore conspiracy case, the prolonged hunger strike by Bhagat Singh and his team created huge uprising, and finally the death of Jyotirendra Das after 63 days of hunger strike in the British jail put the British authority under question even in their own country. But that could not stop British court to declare the death sentence for Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, and the song describing how they faced the death gloriously remains iconic till date. And now we will listen to a poem which later became a very famous song, but initially it was popularized among the mass by the iconic revolutionary Ram Prasad Bismil. Meshomasha, you are muted.
An Urdu patriotic poem written by Bismil Azimabadi as an ode to the young freedom fighters of Indian independence movement. These immortal lines became a war cry for India's freedom struggle against the British. And the man who immortalized them was Ram Prasad Bismil. Revolutionary Ram Prasad Bismil said, "Allow me to be born multiple times, even after dying continuously, even if I have to face death 1,000 times for the sake of my motherland, I shall not be sorry." Ram Prasad Bismil was an Indian revolutionary who participated in the Mainpuri conspiracy of 1918 and the Kakori conspiracy of 1925 and fought against the British rule of India. Bismil was hanged on 19th December 1927 by the British for his revolutionary activities. Now I'm going to recite the poem, the famous poem, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है. सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. करता नहीं क्यों दूसरा कुछ बातचीत, देखता हूं मैं जिसे वो चुप तेरी महफिल में है. रहबर राहे मोहब्बत रहना जान राह में, लज्जते सेहरा नवर्दी दूरी मंजिल में है. यूं खड़ा मोख्तल में कातिल कह रहा है बार बार, क्या तमन्नाए शहादत भी किसी के दिल में है. ऐ शहीदे मुल्को मिल्लत में मैं तेरे ऊपर निसाद, अब तेरी हिम्मत का चर्चा गैर की महफिल में है. वक्त आने दे बता देंगे तुझे ऐ आसमान, हम अभी से क्या बताएं हमारे दिल में क्या है. खींच कर लाई है सबको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद, खींच कर लाई है सबको कत्ल होने की उम्मीद. आशिकों का जमघट आज पूछे कातिल में है. सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. इनकलाब जिंदाबाद.
Music, as a part of Indian culture, always took a vital role during the War of Independence. And not only in Indian War of Liberation, it always acts as a motivational factor for the society in every era, in every nation. Once, the famous Indian folk singer Bhupen Hazarika met the legendary singer Paul Robeson, and during their conversation, Robeson said, "Please, do not see the musical instruments as ordinary. Remember, the strings of guitar can awake the nation, and the beats of a drum can make a nation march."
The same application of music we can see in a purely new genre of music that gave life to the last and final battle of liberation. That is, the songs composed and used by the Indian National Army and later termed as the INA songs. Without the mention of Captain Ram Singh Thakur, the discussion on INA songs would have been incomplete one. The orchestration of every INA songs done by Captain Thakur, and even in the present India, the songs like Kadam Kadam Badhaye Ja are enough to spread the emotion of nationalism. Today, we have Sri Ramesh Thakur, the son of Captain Ram Singh Thakur, who is not well, but shared his thoughts on his father. So we will now share a video which bears the message from Sri Ramesh Thakur on his father, Captain Ram Singh Thakur.
Jai Hind. Natural always, sharp sometimes, flat never. Captain Ram Singh lived his life as per these musical notations. Natural, what he meant was just be yourself always. Sharp, like those very high notes, like getting angry or shouting or fighting, sometimes. And flat, like the very bass, low notes, he said, like getting upset, getting sad, or depressed, never. Born in Dharamsala, Himachal Pradesh, Captain joined the 2nd First Gurkha Rifles and learnt his music under Captain Rose. He was dispatched off to Northwest Frontier and he fought there during 1937-39. Thereafter, he was dispatched off to Southeast Asia, where after fighting the Japanese, he became the POW, the prisoner of war. An incident in prisoner of war was that he had to go along with the other fellow prisoners to, scrub the floors or clean the windows or doors, etc., as a part of the duty of a prisoner. One day, in a banquet hall, he saw some Japanese musicians playing, and he couldn't hold himself back. So he went right up to them, did some mime gesture, and said, "Even I would like to play." And what happened after that? He played the piano, he played the clarinet, he played the violin, he played the, just name it. And he went on playing, and they were absolutely impressed. And they said that you are going to play with us every day from tomorrow night. So there it was, no duty. It was rehearsals during the day, and then he would land up in the night to play all the Japanese and Western classicals. One number called La Paloma. La 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 na 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 bum 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 ra 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 ram bum bum da ra 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 la 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 ra 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 ram tum 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 ra 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 ra. This was one music which they lapped it and gave him standing ovation. And obviously what followed was that, "My dear sir, we would like you to stay back in Japan," which he politely with folded hands bowed and said, "No, sir." But during this period, every day he had to come, but he would not have his food in the banquet hall. What he would do was carry all the goodies, and quite a lot of it, back to the bunker and have it with his fellow prisoners. Thereafter, of course, what happened was then he joined the Indian National Army under Subhash Chandra Bose, and the whole life changed thereafter under his leadership and with his fellow veteran soldiers of the INA. I will touch upon just some of the songs, although some important ones are going to be played towards the end, but just to give you a little bit of flavor, not too many of them. The important thing is that most of the time when they were writing and the music was being composed, it was like bringing about a josh, bringing about energy, a lot of hope, wanting freedom, wanting to go into the battlefield with a battle cry, and absolutely in awe of their leader, absolutely going all out as per his directions and willing to do anything, always looking up to the flag. And therefore they had morning prayers or flag hoisting or march past, and so a lot of songs, and these are made with that kind of feeling and emotions. They had a lot of fire in their belly. And you will find that when you listen to some of these numbers later. So one of the things when they started off was Bharat ki Mahima. जय जय भारत माता तेरी मुकुट हिमालय सुंदर तेरा पद रज होता धोता सागर. Hail Mother India, beautiful Himalaya is your crown. You are cleansed and your feet is purified by the Indian Ocean. This was one of the numbers through which they got the resolve and determination to unify India. एकता का निष्ठ मनोरथ प्राप्त हुआ उनको इस गीत से. Of course, made by Captain Ram Singh and also the music. Most of the music in INA was composed by Captain Ram Singh. Then they had a welcoming the morning and forgetting the darkness and the night and saying, now we are awake. गई रात आया प्रभात हम निद्रा से जागे. गई रात आया प्रभात हम निद्रा से जागे. Then came Bharat Mata Tujhko Karu Pranam. The INA soldiers were from different parts of India. In their endeavor to tie them in a single thread, Captain simplified in Hindi the famous Vande Mataram of Bankim Chandra Chatterjee to शीश झुकाकर भारत माता तुझको करूं प्रणाम. माता तुझको करूं प्रणाम. शीतल निर्मल हवाएं तेरी तेरे मीठे बोल. शीश झुकाकर भारत माता तुझको करूं प्रणाम. माता तुझको करूं प्रणाम. This actually became a virtual morning prayer for the INA soldiers and also in India. Then we have सबसे ऊंचा है दुनिया में झंडा हमारा नेताजी जिंदाबाद. आजाद करेंगे नेताजी जिंदाबाद. In October 43, when Netaji arrived at the Andaman airport, then Major Parsuram Thapa played the captain's composition, which I just sang. The other was like watching soldiers fight, keeping flag high, marching forward without hesitation at Imphal Barakan Morcha battlefront in 1944. Tilak Sahib wrote the song and later composed by the captain in Burma. आजाद हिंद के जवान आए आए जवान आए. आजाद हिंद के जवान आए आए जवान आए. Then we have Netaji Ka Sapna, which is also a very popular song in terms of marching number. जय हो महादेश हमारा भारत है जो संसार से प्यारा. जय हो महादेश हमारा भारत है जो संसार से प्यारा. This song is based on the feelings of wanting to free India from the Raj, to bring people from all walks of life together and to keep the central focus on the tricolor flying high, and therefore unity and sacrifice. And this song was beautifully written by Lieutenant Prakash Singh. On 14th August 1945 को जापानियों के आत्मसमर्पण पश्चात Azad Hind Sarkar felt Netaji should go to a foreign land and continue the INA's fight. Remembering Netaji then, Captain wrote a few songs, and some of them go like this: O jaane wale neta, hame na bhool jana. And in Punjabi, Subhas ji pyare, kithe gaye. And there's a beautiful one: Netaji hamare, haste haste jeena. नेताजी हमारे हंसते हंसते जीना. Then the other one is called नेताजी का फरमान. उठो सोए भारत के नसीबों को जगा दो, उठो सोए भारत के नसीबों को जगा दो. Wake up, change the sleeping India's fortune, change its dream, change its luck, change its future. Wake up. So on 4th July, I think, जब नेताजी ने अपने 4 ब्रिगेड को आदेश प्रसारित किया था, he ordered them, summoned them for a meeting, for a war cry. So it was a war cry song, well penned by Nehru Brigade Colonel Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. Then there's a very simple song called Azad Hi Jiyenge, Azad Hi Marenge. What wordings! By Lieutenant Colonel Chand Hasrat, was a source of encouragement to spread unity in Southeast Asia. कौमी तिरंगे झंडे ऊंचे रहो हमारे, कौमी तिरंगे झंडे ऊंचे रहो जहां में. This was when INA rejected the Union Jack and adopted the INA flag. Soldiers proudly sang this twice a day when hoisting the flag every morning and lowering it in the evening. Then, of course, the Dilli Chalo is so famous. Chale Dilli Chale e bhai. You know, when Netaji took charge on the 1st of July in 43, he said, Jawano, is yudh mein लोगों का एक ही नारा होगा. जवानों, इस युद्ध में लोगों का एक ही नारा होगा. Delhi Chalo inspired many songs like Delhi Chalo, ऐसे चलेंगे, दिल्ली चलेंगे, चलो दिल्ली चले ए भाई. So later on you'll hear a very popular song of Delhi Delhi Jayenge. Thereafter, this was. Then, of course, you have the very famous song by Iqbal Tha, Sare Jahan se hamara, hum bulbule iski hindostan hamara. Well, this song was almost like a hymn, which was then made into a very joyous marching tune by the captain. From here, the important thing during this period, one or two instances, is that when the Indian National Army veterans and Captain Ram Singh reached Valmiki Bhavan in Delhi, and they welcomed Bapuji, they welcomed Sardar Patel and Nehruji, and they took permission to sing and play the Qaumi Tarana of the Indian National Army, which of course will be played in full fanfare later on. What is important here is that after listening to this, Patel ji asked Captain Ram Singh that please, I want you to take your team and go around India wherever you can and sing all these INA numbers, sing all these patriotic songs, these national songs, and bring that national josh and energy in each one of them, because we are still fighting for the independence. So it is very important, which he of course went around and did so, started from Odeon Cinema in Connaught Place to almost packed houses to almost 10-15 days, and then started off going to other districts in the country. Then the other famous thing is that he was called back. As we did not have a national anthem at that point in time, on 15th of August in 1947, to play the Qaumi Tarana of the Indian National Army on 15th of August. And I think we all are very proud of this. During his period, he also played as the second violinist of the Symphony Orchestra, and later on as the second violinist of Delhi Symphony Orchestra. And some of these soldiers and Captain Ram Singh and his team, he continuously sang all these national and patriotic songs over the Singapore radio and Malay radio in order to keep that freedom movement josh in the people of India. He has composed almost 65 or plus compositions, and 30 of them pertain to Indian National Army. This is as per the INA book of songs, and then the composition of, the recording of Delhi Chalo by Netaji Subhash Pero, which they recorded in the HMV, his master's voice, in 1983. Now coming to the other side where he spent a long time, and that was the Provincial Armed Constabulary. Provincial Armed Constabulary, he joined in 1948, the police as sub-inspector. And he single-handedly built the entire police and PAC battalion band in different districts, and he had brass band, pipe, buglers, drummers. He had Qawwali Sufi team, he had jazz band team, bhajan team, Gurbani hymn team, then choir team, dance troupe, all the works. And the music that was available in his band barrack was something which any symphony orchestra could have walked in and played. Every morning he would go to the parade, and thereafter he would go to the band barrack, and his men would be ready for rehearsals. And you will be surprised that he managed to make the police band play Western classics of Beethoven, Mozart, Schubert, Miller, Chopin, etc. They were in the itinerary list of all dignitaries and diplomats and very senior people who came to Lucknow. He even played with an American quartet once, and they said, "Come to US, we'll carry you on our shoulders." But Indian as he is, patriot as he is, and whatever he's learned from Netaji, no, everything for the country. He said, "Thank you very much, I'm very happy." In Lucknow and UP, where he spent quite a lifetime, he was the lifeline of celebrations, of government functions, of schools. He started the beating retreat in the Governor House. And can you imagine playing Om Jai Jagdish Hare with Auld Lang Syne? I mean, it was amazing. He was there at every school sports day. He was there at the Guard of Honor. He was at the parade. He was at the Founders Day. And he even did musical theaters like Hiawatha Child, Trial by Jury, The Persian Market, Mikado, Julius Caesar, you name it. A great storyteller. Once he was at Teen Murti Bhavan in 1971, invited by Padmaja Naidu to play two patriotic songs of the INA. And there he was taken around and he saw a Jyoti burning there. And when he saw the Jyoti burning there, he says, I am going to sing. So he says, no, you can't. She said, no, you can't. She says, no, I will. She says, it's not in the program. He says, well, now it is. She says, I haven't asked Indira ji. She says, no, she will like it. So he, next morning, Indira ji was there. And there he just goes inside, matha tekte hain, puja karte hain thodi der, and then he starts. जलता हूँ और हंसा करता हूँ, जलता हूँ और हंसा करता हूँ, मैं अमर जो ज्योतिर्मय दीपक हूँ, नित जिया करता हूँ, मैं अमर जो ज्योतिर्मय दीपक हूँ, नित जिया करता हूँ, जलता हूँ और हंसा करता हूँ, जलता हूँ और हंसा करता हूँ. Then at one wedding, he just goes up to the girl's father and says, just let me know when the girl is going to come out because I want to sing. Great. And there she comes out. It wasn't even there in the program. Jaymal liye armanon ki dekho सुनीता दुल्हनी या पहनाने चली, जयमाल लिए अरमानों की. Then we had the Bhil dance. He was also a choreographer. He could make beautiful ballet dances. Two I remember very well. One is the Bhil dance, in which I also performed as a small kid. Pom 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 rom. Pom 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 pom. Oh, ra ra ra, la ra 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 ra, pom 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 pom. So this is about the father taking his small kid for shikar and saying, just stick around here, don't move around anywhere else. But he obviously lands up killing a big shikar and then calls for his father, and they celebrate and dance. Tarara tarara pom, tarara pom, tarara tarara pom 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 pom, tigidum 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 tigidum, pom 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 poram pom, pararam pom, pararam pom param pom, tigidum 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 tigidum, pom 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 param pom, pom 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 param. So to this they dance, rejoice, and quietly go. Again conceived, choreographed, composed by Captain Ram Singh. And then, of course, in the battalion programs, he had this Shiv Tandav, and where the Shivji wants to go and meet Krishna. Chada bhang tum karo tayari, Shri Krishna ji ke darshan ko. Chada bhang tum karo tayari, Shri Krishna ji ke darshan ko. And to which Yashoda ji says, काला रनीला रंग तुम्हारा, काला रनीला रंग तुम्हारा, शेरों जैसी सूरत है, मेरा लाल फिर डर से रोए, मैं फिर कैसे मनाऊंगी, मेरा लाल फिर डर से रोए, फिर मैं कैसे मनाऊंगी. And again conceived, choreographed and played by him. There are 2-3 instances which are very important because whenever he was called to play 2 national songs, they always used to be Kadam Kadam Badha Ja and Shubh Shubh Chain Ki Barkha Barse. One was in Teen Murti Bhavan, which he had to train the team of All India Radio and the National School of Drama, which he did in an hour and a half, and they were there in the evening, which was being attended by Indira Ji too. The other was Delhi Assembly when Sahib Singh Verma was here, and later in Redford, where he came in 83 to establish the Netaji's chair. What generally happened was that whenever Shubh Shukh Chain Ki Barkha was played, everyone just got up till they were told, please sit down. This is the national anthem of INA. Anyway, so there are actually lots I can go on, but the time is very this thing. Well, he had a very simple living, very simple house, always wore white shirt, white pant, khaki, pant, white shirt, and gray pant, white shirt, and a blazer in winter. He was ocean of patience, and his house was always surrounded by musicians or singers, they were there all the time. So it was a very joyful, joyous house. In terms of social, he gave admissions to a lot of children there, or he would be bailing out people, or he would visit all religious places. All means all. There was no distinction, off and on, because he had all these teams with him of different genres. In terms of awards and rewards, well, he received the King George VI Medal in 1937 for that Northwest Frontier fight. He received Netaji's Gold Medal in 1943 for creating the Qaumi Tarana national anthem of the INA. Third was the UP's first governors, who was K.M. Munshi, first gold medal in 1956. Tamrapatra, he got then UP Sangeet Natak Academy for excellence in music and drama in 1979. Sikkim Mitra Sen Award in 1993. President's Gold Medal in 1972. First Azad Hind Award of West Bengal government in 1996. And then, which was very big for him, was Emeritus Musician and Lifetime Service Award by the government of UP in 1977. One very important and beautiful thing about him was he played Netaji's violin in the middle of the night almost every day. Every day. Now, he had a beautiful Netaji's portrait at home, and he would get up in the middle of the night and, go to Netaji and do some puja and burn incense, dhoop batti and all that, and pray to Netaji. There was a small oil painting he had. And he would, then start making his music or the song, and invariably the song or the music would be ready just before sunrise. That was something which was, I think, Netaji's blessings and maybe Saraswati Ma. So this is, I'm sorry I've taken time, but I tried, in as summary as possible, and therefore I will end it up. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'll end it up by saying, natural always, sharp sometimes, flat never. Jai Hind.
After 90 days of perilous adventure in a submarine, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, leader of Free Indians and the INA in Europe, reached Sumatra and Penang safe, and then flew on to Japan, where he arrived in early June 1943. The first public announcement of the dramatic arrival of Netaji Bose in Tokyo, all the way from Berlin, caused a wave of jubilation among Indians throughout East Asia. Overnight, the atmosphere was electrified. The INA and the Indian independence movement suddenly assumed for greater importance in the eyes of all. The incredible had happened. The dynamic revolutionary Subhash had actually arrived in East Asia to lead the Indian freedom movement. He then arrived by plane in Singapore on the 2nd July 1943, and on 4th July 1943, Sri Raj Bihari Bose handed over the charge of Indian Independence League and Indian National Army in East Asia to Subhash Chandra in presence of 5,000 Indians. In the historic program in Cathay Hall, at Singapore, the Indians welcomed their beloved and undisputed leader with the historic song Subhash Ji wo jaane Hind aa gaye hai naaz jis pe Hind ko wo shaan Hind aa gaye. With the emotion of joy and valor, Major Mumtaz Hussain wrote the song, and with the same feeling, it was
वो जाने हिंद आ गए है नाज जिस पे हिंद को वो शान हिंद आ गए. सुभाष जी सुभाष जाने रहे सुभाष माने हिंद है. सुभाष आने हिंद है सुभाष शान हिंद है. सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद आ गए है नाज जिस पे हिंद को वो शान हिंद आ गए. सुभाष जी गली 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 वो अनगली गुजर चली. गली 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 वो आमहल के बारी दी. सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद आ गए है नाज जिस पे हिंद को वो शान हिंद आ गए. सुभाष जी तूफान हिंद लाएंगे वो शान हिंद लाएंगे. फिरंगियों की कौम पर वो कहने बन के छाएंगे. सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद आ गए है नाज जिस पे हिंद को वो शान हिंद आ गए. सुभाष जी खुशी का दौर आ गया निषाद बन के छा गया. वो एशिया का आफताब तो एशिया में आ गया. सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद आ गए है नाज जिस पे हिंद को वो शान हिंद आ गए. सुभाष जी
On the very next day, Subhash Chandra addressed the soldiers of INA for the first time, and here he gave the call, Chalo Dilli Chalo. The soldiers of the Indian National Army was all set to march to Delhi, and their enthusiasm knew no limits to start the last war of independence. Captain Ram Singh Thakur composed and orchestrated a song which described the situation entirely.
हम दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. अब फौजी बन के रहना है दुख दर्द मुसीबत सहना है. अब फौजी बन के रहना है दुख दर्द मुसीबत सहना है. सुभाष का कहना है चलो दिल्ली चल के रहना है. सुभाष का कहना है चलो दिल्ली चल के रहना है. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे. हम गोली खा के झूमेंगे हम मौत को बढ़ के चूमेंगे. हम गोली खा के झूमेंगे हम मौत को बढ़ के चूमेंगे. मतवाले बन आजादी के हम दरिया जंगल घूमेंगे. मतवाले बन आजादी के हम दरिया जंगल घूमेंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे. सुभाष हमारा हाथी है और राष्ट्र बिहारी साथी है. सुभाष हमारा हाथी है और राष्ट्र बिहारी साथी है. फिर कैसा खतरा बाकी है खुदा हमारा साथी है. फिर कैसा खतरा बाकी है खुदा हमारा साथी है. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे. फौजी बन के जाएंगे हम दिल्ली तक सजाएंगे. हम फौजी बन के जाएंगे हम दिल्ली तक सजाएंगे. जालिम फिरंगी कौम का हम नामो निशा मिटाएंगे. जालिम फिरंगी कौम का हम नामो निशा मिटाएंगे. हम दिल्ली जाएंगे. हम अपना हिंद बनाएंगे. हम फौजी बन के रहना है दुख दर्द मुसीबत सहना है. सुभाष का कहना है चल के रहना है।
Finally, on 21st October 1943, Netaji declared the establishment of the provisional government of Azad Hind in exile. And on very next day, the youngest government of the then world declared war against the allied force of Britain and America. And the marching song for INA was made. According to Captain Ram Singh Thakur, the song was presented for the first time on 25th October 1943 at a big conference declaring the war against the Allied forces. The song was banned by the British government, but it became the signature marching tune in the Free India. Presently, it is used as the marching song for the passing out cadets of Indian Military Academy. This tune was played in Commonwealth Games on 2010 also.
बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की तो कौम पे लुटाए जा। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की तो कौम पे लुटाए जा। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा। शेर हिंद आगे बढ़, तू न डर, दौड़ा के दुश्मनों का सर जो शे वतन बढ़ाए जा। शेर हिंद आगे बढ़, मने से तू कभी न डर, उड़ा के दुश्मनों का सर जो शे वतन बढ़ाए जा। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा। चलो दिल्ली पुकार के निशान संभाल के, लाल किले पे गौड़ के लहराए जा लहराए जा। चलो दिल्ली पुकार के कौमी निशान संभाल के, लाल किले पे गौड़ के लहराए जा लहराए जा। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की तो कौम पे लुटाए जा। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, कदम बढ़ाए जा।
Subhash Chandra always wanted to see the girls of the nation as equal to their male counterparts. He requested his Mettada Sri Sharat Chandra Bose to allow his daughters for higher studies before marriage. And the elder brother also agreed to the opinion of his younger brother. No surprise that the same person would plan to establish the first all-woman combat battalion of the modern world when he became the head of the provisional government. The Indian girls of East Asia joined in large number, and they also made themselves prepared for the battlefield. According to Netaji's wish, Captain Thakur composed a song for the all-woman regiment of Azad Hind Fauj. To celebrate the birth anniversary of Rani Jhansi on 22nd October, 156 women joined and established the Rani Jhansi Brigade. On the same evening, Colonel Lakshmi Swaminathan gave the Guard of Honor to Netaji. The song was presented by Subedar Officer Baldev Singh and Captain Ram Singh Thakur, orchestrated by letter on this occasion.
हम भारत की बेटी हैं, हम भारत की बेटी हैं, अब उठा चुकी तलवार। हम भारत की बेटी हैं, अब उठा चुकी तलवार। हम मरने से नहीं डरती, नहीं पीछे पांव को धरती। हम मरने से नहीं डरती, नहीं पीछे पांव को धरती। आगे ही आगे बढ़ती, आगे ही आगे बढ़ती, कस कमर हुई तैयार। हम भारत की बेटी हैं, हम नहीं है लड़ाके, देखो इतिहास उठा के। हम नहीं है लड़ाके, देखो इतिहास उठा के। हम छतरानी भारत की, हम छतरानी भारत की, दिखला देंगी निज बार। हम भारत की बेटी हैं। जब कर कृपान उठाती फिर काल रूप बन जाती। जब कर कृपान उठाती फिर काल रूप बन जाती। रुधिरों से प्यास बुझाती, रुधिरों से प्यास बुझाती। थर्रा देती संसार, हम भारत की बेटी हैं। जब तक बाहों में बल है, धमनियों में रक्त प्रबल है। जब तक बाहों में बल है, धमनियों में रक्त प्रबल है। दिल में नहीं पल भर कल है, दिल में नहीं पल भर कल है। बिन किए देश उद्धार, हम भारत की बेटी हैं। अब उठा चुकी तलवार, हम मरने से नहीं डरती, नहीं पीछे पाँव को धरती। आगे ही आगे बढ़ती, कस कमर हुई तैयार, हम भारत की बेटी हैं।
While in Europe, Subhash Chandra selected the song Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya Hai by poet Tagore as the national anthem of Indian Legion in Europe. He made the announcement in a conference at Berlin in 1942. But when he arrived in East Asia, he realized that the song written in traditional Bengali would not create the proper impact on the soldiers of INA. So he asked Major Abid Hassan Safrani, Captain Ram Singh Thakur, and Major Mumtaz Hussain to simplify the song in simple Hindustani for an easier understanding of the INA soldiers who had united to liberate the dear motherland. Captain Thakur was directed by Netaji to ensure कि मुझे जगा देने वाली धुन चाहिए, नींद आने वाली नहीं। और जब हम जय हो बोले तो कैथी हॉल दो हिस्सों में फट जाए और जय हो गरजाती हुए हिंदुस्तान में लाल किले पर बरसे. The composition and orchestration of Captain Ram Singh Thakur became the Qaumi Tarana, the national anthem for the Azad Hind Fauj. And as a feeling of appreciation, Netaji gifted a German violin to Captain Ram Singh Thakur and awarded him the Netaji Gold Medal. Anushka, unmute.
Today, in this concluding session of 75th year of independence, we wish to thank each and every participant in the discussions in last 3 weeks. We express our thanks to Sri Shomik Pal, Srimati Koel Goswami, Srimati Shanghamitra Sen for participating in this program. Without their active participation, this program would not have been a successful one. We like to thank Sri Ramesh Thakur uncle for his valuable suggestions for the script and narrating about his father today in this program. We are thankful to Sri Abhijit Roy uncle for his constant guidance to give shape to our dreams about our programs. We like to mention historian Sri Ramesh Chandra Majumdar and Sri S.A. Iyer, the propaganda minister of the provisional government, as few parts of the script has been taken from their writings. And now we will conclude our program with our love, respect, and gratitude for all those who fought our war of independence with the national anthem of the provisional government of Azad Hind. Every dedicated and selfless freedom fighter had a dream of a free and united India. And on the occasion of 75th anniversary of our independence, it is the time to take a pledge for an united India under the single tricolor. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
शुक्र शुक्र जय न की बरखा बरसे फानत नाम सुभा
सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा चंचल सागर विंध्य हिमालय नीला यमुना गंगा तेरे नित्य गुण गाए तुझसे जीवन पाए सब तन पाए आशा सूरज बन कर जग पर चमके भारत नाम सुभागा जय हो जय हो जय हो जय 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 हो भारत नाम सुभागा सबके दिल में प्रीत बसाई तेरी मीठी वाणी हर सूबे के रहने वाले हर मजहब के प्राणी सब भेद और फर्क मिटा के सब गोद में तेरे आगे गूंजे प्रेम की माला सूरज बन कर जग पर चमके भारत नाम सुभागा जय हो जय हो जय हो जय 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 हो भारत नाम सुभागा सुबह सवेरे पंख पखेरु तेरे ही गुण गाए बांसुरी भरपूर हवाएं जीवन में ऋतुलाए सब मिलकर हिंद पुकारे जय आजाद हिंद के नारे प्यारा देश हमारा सूरज बन कर जग पर चमके भारत नाम सुभागा जय हो आजाद हिंद फौज की